Welcome to the NYRA Bets Top 5 Contenders for the Kentucky Oaks. Coming in at number 5 is the Graham Motion trainee Fondly. Sired by Upstart, this filly is the most lightly raced of the entire field with only 2 career starts. She is her dam's second foal, the first being Antiquarian, who won the Grade 3 Peter Pan in his 4th career start. Fondly broke her maiden first time out going 7 furlongs at Tampa Bay Downs and was immediately moved up to listed stakes company in the Virginia Oaks. She broke sharply, set the pace for the opening quarter, all while facing pressure from Anonyma. Anonyma eventually passed her, and Fondly was able to fight back down the stretch and still held her position when early on came surging at the end. Even though the figure came back light for that race, there is still a lot to like about her. Graham Motion took her to Fair Hill Training Track after the Virginia Oaks, and she worked well up to her journey to Churchill Downs. She has a lot of potential and will be ridden by Brad Ortiz in the Oaks. Although she is lightly raced, Fondly is 2 for 2 and sticks out as a bit of an X factor in the race, as she seems to be improving and maturing quickly and showed versatility in both of her efforts.
Here comes Fondly, who keeps on fighting. Fondly, she's 2 for 2, and she's Oaks bound too.
My number 4 contender is potentially one of the most interesting runners in the Oaks. Tenma is an outlier in this field as the lone Oaks filly shipping over for Bob Baffert. Tenma is actually the only West Coast filly in this race. With an impeccable pedigree, Tenma brought $850,000 as a 2-year-old after breezing 9-4 at the OBS sale. What's notable is that she has the pedigree to handle the distance and also possesses a lot of speed. She hit her peak in the Grade 2 Las Virgenes as the runaway winner in a 3-horse field. Posting a buyer speed figure of a 92, this performance left us wondering what we could see next from this filly, who finished with something left in the tank that day. The fact that she hasn't faced a field nearly as large as what she'll face in the Oaks could be viewed as a negative, but I think this filly could improve in a larger field size and a true pace to stay at. She could present great value come Oaks Day, as her performance last time out in the Santa Anita Oaks left some doubts about how good she truly is. She looked like she wanted the lead that day and got pulled back to right off a stablemate and found herself in some pretty tight spots throughout the beginning stages of the race. She never looked comfortable or settled, and she certainly was not at her best that day. This filly is bred to sustain her run, and I believe she will be very dangerous up front on Oaks Day. When you look at the ground she's given up in her races, her stride, her pedigree, and her top figures, she's on par with the main players, and it's exciting to ponder what this filly is truly capable of when she leaves her backyard.
Tenma towered over the competition, strolling through the stretch, and she'll report home 6 lengths in front of stablemate Cipriani.
Coming in at number 3 on the list is the Walden trainee Bless the Broken, who has not run a bad race since her 2nd place finish to Simply Joking in the Silver Bullet Day Stakes, where she made up significant ground in the slop at a huge price. Her pedigree suggests she will improve with the added distance for the Oaks, and she is definitely maturing with every start. Her running style also suits the stretch out and distance, as she is a closer who should appreciate any added ground she gets to cover. She's always been on my radar, but her last start when she won the Bourbonette Oaks at Turfway Park moved her onto my list as one that could be overlooked on the tote board and could provide value in exotics. I believe she will be picking up pieces in the Oaks as long as she gets a clean trip, and with the several fillies who like to be up on the lead, she should get a nice pace to run into as well. If it happens to rain on the first Friday of May, she moves up even higher, as she's proven to also love the wet track, which makes a ton of sense as we often see with the Uncle Mo Tappet Sireline Cross. She'll be piloted by John Velasquez, and she is training exceptionally well at Keeneland leading up to this. Not to mention, she is also one of 5 fillies in the Oaks to have raced at Churchill Downs and absolutely loves Kentucky.
Bless the Broken, as catch can means business to the far outside. Bless the Broken, repelling the bid. Bless the Broken, and Johnny V in the Bourbonette Oaks.
Good Cheer is not your points leader, but is certainly going into the Oaks as a dominant force amongst this crop of 3-year-old fillies. She is looking to become the first filly since Malathat to remain undefeated after running in the Kentucky Oaks. A daughter of Medaglia d'Oro, sire of previous Oaks winners such as Rachel Alexandra, Good Cheer is out of Godolphin's multiple graded stakes winning mare Wedding Toast, sired by Street Sense. In other words, she is certainly bred for the Oaks. She won on debut for trainer Brad Cox and then won her second start in an allowance at Churchill before sweeping the Rags to Riches and the Goldenrod, giving her 3 wins at Churchill Downs. Despite running into short fields in the Goldenrod and the Rachel and getting boxed into challenging positions each time, she was ridden out in every single race. Her most impressive effort yet would be her last start in the Grade 2 Fairground Oaks, where she ran down frontrunner Ahava to win by 3.5 lengths and posted a career best Beyer speed figure of a 91. What's most exciting about Good Cheer is she certainly gives the impression that we have not seen her best yet, and she always ends with something left in the tank. You can tell that this filly loves to win, and she surely has a very competitive demeanor about her, even when she's just walking in the paddock. Godolphin seeks to get their second Oaks win, the first being Pretty Mischievous in 2023. They're teamed up with trainer Brad Cox, who they had sent a promising crew of Oaks potential fillies to last year, including champion 2-year-old filly Immersive. Now Good Cheer takes center stage as this team's only entry in the Kentucky Oaks. Her dominance, talent, pedigree, and unlimited potential are undeniable, and she will be tough to beat on Oaks Day.
And Good Cheer is sailing clear to make it 5 for 5. Good Cheer in the Rachel Alexandra Stakes, won by a half dozen lengths from Goal's Delight.
Finally, coming in at my top spot is a filly once known as the Bridesmaid. John Ortiz trainee Quietside put a stop to those allegations when she won her last 2 starts in the Grade 3 Honeybee and the Grade 2 Fantasy. However, her overall body of work is impressive, even as the Bridesmaid. She was finishing second to fillies like Immersive and Good Cheer and never had a consistent rider until Jose Ortiz piloted her to victory in her last 2 starts. While Quietside form has improved with experience, it does look like she found her perfect match with Ortiz. Quietside ideal trip of sitting right off the main speed in a stalking position has proven to be effective against some of the fastest fillies in this group. While I believe she is fast enough to have gotten the lead in some of her races, Ortiz has figured out just the type of trip this filly likes to sit and that she does her best running when you stay out of her way. She was able to track right off of 5G in the Grade 3 Honeybee, who had the post advantage in that race. She faced a large field of competitive fillies that day and backed that effort up with the win in the Grade 2 Fantasy next time out. She sat right off Simply Joking, another filly who likes to be forwardly placed, and also had things her own way. If she finds herself sitting in a similar spot come Oaks Day, she is extremely dangerous. The daughter of Malibu Moon is out of Benner Island, who won the Grade 2 8 Bell Stakes at Churchill Downs and hails from the same female family as champion Eliza, who ran second in the Oaks to Dispute in 1993 and is the dam of Dialed In. Quietside is a Shortleaf Stables homebred who clearly stems from a long line of producers and is one of 5 fillies in this year's Oaks to have run at Churchill Downs, where she finished second to Good Cheer. In my opinion, she is the most likely horse to upset Good Cheer, maybe the best bet come post time, and therefore ranks at the top of my Kentucky Oaks list.
Quietside on the outside, neck in front now. Simply Joking, resilient from the rail. Quietside digging in. She's got a half-length lead, and she has the fantasy victory. Quietside off to the Kentucky Oaks after back-to-back wins here at Oaklawn. Simply Joking second, Running and Gunning picked up pieces third.